We see the world through our personal filters. Hey guys, it's John here in the studio on a Sunday morning, drinking my cup of beef broth. So good. I wanted to hop on because I recently did a video that became a really good example of people seeing the world through their own filters. I did a video on Wayne Dyer recently, and that video was a very controversial video for some. And the reason that video is controversial is because everyone was looking at that video through their own filter. That video went out of its way to praise Wayne Dyer. It, at the end of that video, told you to go buy Wayne Dyer's books. The title of that video was No Offense Intended, No Disrespect Intended. That video, I love Wayne Dyer, and I love his work. I do believe that if you are someone who follows the way, you're following something that's empowering within yourself. And I do believe that going to John of God at the end of his life was a moment of a lack of his way. He kind of got into a fear state and went to someone outside of himself. I completely believe that. But this video is not about that video. Because once again, I did not disrespect or even judge Wayne Dyer, because his journey is his journey. We see the world through our own filters. And the comments on that video demonstrate that very clearly. I had one person tell me how disappointed they were in me and how they liked my videos, but they didn't like the fact that I was judging Wayne Dyer when he couldn't, quote unquote, defend himself. Well, if you'd have watched the video, you'd understand there was no judgment. There was only talking about the circumstances. There was no judgment of Wayne Dyer. There was actually only praise for Wayne Dyer throughout the entire video. The fact that this person felt that Wayne Dyer needed to defend himself was not about Wayne Dyer. It was about their taking offense that someone would speak about Wayne Dyer after his passing. And my response to her was a very interesting one. I said, well, if we're not allowed to speak about people who have passed, I'm all for that, because that means there'd be no religion. And that's fact. Jeshua, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, they've all passed. If we never talked about the dead, we would never have any sort of spiritual thought or religion, and we would be in a much better place, in my personal opinion. I had one person who told me, John, you seem to be focusing your attention on the channel on bashing others. And he listed that I'd done videos on Doreen Virtue and Dolores Cannon and John Edward and Neil Donald Walsh. And then said, well, I noticed how you like some of them and you bash the others. There was not one video where I bashed anyone. In every one of those videos, I said that's their spiritual journey. In Dolores Cannon's case, I said, I think she's a very kind person. I question her science. But if we can't question her science, then she's infallible, just like every other religion in the world. And so that person is coming from the perspective of trying to defend, or putting me in a position where I'm not allowed to speak about certain things. And in every one of those videos, including the ones on Doreen Virtue, I said spirituality is her journey. It's her personal journey. She's allowed to choose whatever she wants. But I will call out when somebody is using fear, or someone who is using a science that I believe is flawed. That's not a personal judgment on anyone or anything. It's just what I see. I had one person who contacted me who told me how disappointed they were in me and how dare I speak about leukemia, because his wife had died of leukemia when I was doing the Wayne Dyer video. First of all, that video wasn't about leukemia, and I'm so sorry about your wife, but it wasn't about your wife either. I'm so sorry that you had a struggle with wife, but your filter is all about leukemia and your wife, and you were trying to cast this video that mentioned leukemia and mentioned Wayne Dyer seeking power outside of himself rather than within, had anything to do with your wife. Had nothing to do with your wife. and it had nothing to do with leukemia. It had to do with losing faith in your power within. That's what that whole video was about. It was a way of showing you that you can keep with the power within and achieve. And I am so sorry about your wife, and I'm so sorry that you're having that experience in your life. But it has nothing to do with me or that video. Unfortunately, that's your experience and not mine. And it's not what was intended in that video, and it's not what was in that video. But you're looking at it through that filter. Lastly, I had someone who claimed to be a Taoist teacher, and probably is a Taoist teacher. I don't mean that in any aspersions at all. Or I'm sure he studied the religion of Taoism very, very clearly with his master of masters and masters, which is what he's responded to me a couple of times now. And I wanted to say that I completely respect his and your beliefs, whoever's watching these videos. But his filter is the dogma of Taoism. And his comment was, Wayne Dyer wasn't a Taoist master, and he didn't do this, that, and the other thing. And then he cited the reason he didn't is because of all these dogmatic things in the Taoist religion that you must follow to be a Taoist master. So he basically laid out the argument that he had no validity because he didn't follow the dogma of my religion. And to me, that's once again looking at this through his personal filter, and I respect that. For me personally, God is too big and too beautiful to be encompassed by any one school of thought or religion, and Taoism is a religion. It's actually defined as a philosophy and a religion, and so to say you have to go through this temple and through this many things, that's all just dogma. That's all that is. And so when I look at someone who's arguing that point of view, their point of view is coming from the filter of their dogmatic religion. And I respect that. And you're welcome to have that belief. No one's in this world can tell you not to. I also had someone who literally said, I've never liked Wayne Dyer. I always thought he was a big ego. See, and I never got that feeling from Wayne Dyer. Not once. I felt that he was a student his entire life, and he was studying and he was learning and he was putting things into practice. And he got calmer and calmer and calmer. But, anybody who's in the public eye is going to be judged as someone in ego. Because to put yourself in the public eye, people are going to think, well, who do they think they are as an authority? I don't think I'm an authority. As I've said on many, many of my videos, that don't believe me or anybody. Only believe what's true to your heart, what follows for you. So many people, and especially the one with the Taoist dogma, was kind of stating that that my beliefs or my belief about Wayne Dyer was wrong because of his dogmatic religions. So when you come back to that kind of perspective, saying to judge others as wrong is to not be open to everything. In the world of religions and spirituality, there's so many of them that none of them can be right completely. It has to be all of them being encompassed. So when you look at your idea of me making a video, my videos are always from my personal perspective. They're not telling you to do anything. They're not judging anybody. But I will call out things that I think are fearful or being thrown as fear. I will share stories with and about people if I think it'll help someone stay with their personal power. But I wanted to make this video because there's 1,300 videos on my channel. The one person who's like you talk about these various authors, Wayne Dyer, Neil Donald Walsh, Doreen Virtue, all those. He labeled 6 videos. I've done 1,300. How, in any way, shape, or form, has my channel been about bashing other people? Especially when none of those videos bashed other people. So my point of this video here is to say, remember when you're watching something, that you're watching everything through the filter of your own experience, through your own beliefs. And when you imply an intention, you should find out whether that is the intention, because you don't know anyone's intention unless you ask. And I've been very clear on all of my videos to say, I respect this person. There's not one that I didn't say I didn't. But there are some people, this one person said that I was bashing people, and I liked some and I bashed others. There was no bashing. And I actually literally went out of my way not to bash. So, but if we can't talk about things that we see wrong, then how do we grow? And remember, when I put out a video, and this is if you're looking to imply intent to my videos, here's the only intent in these videos. My intent for every video I ever make is to love humanity and to empower the world, and that is always the intent. And sometimes I have to make clarity videos like this one to show you that as you look at the world, you're looking through your own filters, just like anybody else in the world is. But to look through your own filters and call something out without actually finding out what the other side's intent was, that's judgment. That's where the judgment comes in. And that's projection is what that is. I'm projecting my beliefs and my framework around what something has said or somebody has said. And in that regard, you're not getting the clarity. I can't tell you how many times on videos I'm told I've said something that I've never said, or that I would, somebody just the other day said that I said Jesus didn't resurrect. Never said that once in my life. Never said that once in my life. And so, people are looking at it through their own framework, through their own beliefs, through their own systems, and sometimes through their own choices. I've chosen to believe this about you. Well, that's yours, not mine. And so I just wanted to say this so that you guys recognize that when you're watching anybody's videos, not just mine, anybody's videos, understand that you're looking at it through your own personal filters. And unless you ask the person what the intent is, then you could be missing the point. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.